Hey family, and welcome back to the channel for another furniture makeover. First of all, I'm super excited to be here per usual. And also, if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. You definitely want to keep watching to the end on this one because you'll see. But listen, I typically paint furniture here on this channel, and this is actually going to be a restore. This is something I've been trying to do for quite some time, but I just haven't found the right piece. And so when I seen this one at the flea market for $30, it spoke to me. I think it's absolutely stunning on its own, but we're just going to modernize it and make it a little bit more up to date. So I was torn between paint wash and paint stain. You definitely just have to keep watching to see what direction we're going to go in. Okay, so honestly, I didn't even quite know where to start with this one because it's different from my normal process. But I went ahead and laid the piece on its back, and I'm just showing you guys the products. So I didn't know I already had strippers, so I purchased another one, but I was able to return it and get my $18 back. Okay. And so I just have scissors, plastic, my respirator mask, some gloves, oh, and some filters for my mask, and a paintbrush. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, I don't know, figure it out, I guess. So I went ahead and did like a couple legs at a time. I knew better than to do the whole piece at once because you definitely want to work in sections. And so I thought this was wisdom by laying it on its back, but you'll see that I ended up just flipping it back upright in a couple clips from now. Okay, so here I am just removing the hardware. Knew I was going to need some things to do while the stripper needed time to process. So that's why I'm doing it in this order. It takes about 15 minutes for the stripper to kind of get working and do what it needs to do. And then here's the little card that I found here from the makers, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I got these items at Home Depot, and I'll try to do my best to link them. I'm not really good with that usually, but I'll try my best to remember to do that. And I'm just going to get scraping. I actually prefer the brush over the plastic scraping tool, but it got the job done. So here I am just using that brush for the curved areas. That's initially why I purchased it, but again, I really just liked how much better this one worked than the scraping tool. So you might see me using it in some of the flat areas here and there. To be honest, there's not much else to show you guys. I pretty much just repeated this process all throughout. And this was literally everything I did in the first work day. And you guys know, or if you don't know, I'm a mom to a beautiful baby girl. And listen, she'll be 2 on December 7th. So that's around the corner. And I'm not ready, but she's a lot to handle. So I do have a babysitter once a week. And that's why I was able to get as much done on this day. But for the rest of the project, I'm pretty much working in between nap times. So yeah, that's why I'm always gone for so long in between uploads. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys because y'all have been so patient and understanding. Y'all have stuck with me. I don't see you guys leaving. I mean, one or two here and there, but nonetheless, y'all, we are on the road to 9K. That was my goal before next year, and I would love to make that goal. Originally, the goal was 10K. I reduced it by a long shot because I was really intimidated by that number. But listen, y'all, either way it goes, if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I have some really exciting things up and coming, especially for the month of December. You're not going to want to miss that. And then also, my project after this one, I'm already ready to get started on it. It's in the garage waiting for me, and I can't wait. So, this Monday, this coming Monday, I'm going to be working on that. That's going to be, I believe, the 17th. So just know I'm not wasting time. I'm getting right back into it. And I just really am excited about this next project. Okay, and the final step is to give it a coat of mineral spirits, wipe it down really good. This is to stop that chemical reaction. And I'm just using some shop towels, also found at Home Depot. And I actually did purchase another container of mineral spirits, but I had this one on the shelf. So I saved myself like a good 30 bucks just in returning those items. I was super excited about that. Okay, starting off on the second day, it was time to get into the sanding process. I'm actually going to be using a 120 grit, and that is it. I know sometimes people will go up to a 150, maybe even a 180. I decided to stick to the 120 for a few different reasons, and I'll go ahead and share them with you. So, first of all, I am going to be doing a paint wash. I just have to kind of let the cat out of the bag in order to justify my decision here. So I figured if I didn't like the paint wash, I could take it off and do the stain. So I didn't really want to go up anymore because then it complicates it, right? So I just wanted to be able to remove the paint wash if necessary with a 120 grit sandpaper. And then also, I just feel like it's going to be more pigmented this way. I feel like the higher up you go, the less pigment your project will receive, so to speak. And then there was one other reason. What was that last one? Okay, so the last reason was I just don't own any other grit. I have 80, 120, and 220. And then I did find like one random sanding disc, 180 grit, but yeah, I wasn't trying to spend any extra coins. I figured 120 would get the job done, and it did. So I got all of the bulk sanding out of the way. I just had the little bit of hand sanding that I needed to do. It took me a course of a few days. I just did this during nap time and sometimes even at night, as you can see. But now it was time for the paint wash. So this is the fun stuff. I got all of this at Home Depot and I got the measuring cup from the dollar store. But listen, I'm going in with Midtown and everyone was using Algonquin, or I'm not quite sure how to say it, but I can't just go pick that up from my local retail store. So I just went to Home Depot and I did my best to match the color from my phone. So this is how I came up with that. My paint ratio is 4 tablespoons of paint to 1 cup of water. And you'll see me making some adjustments throughout the video. This is after those adjustments were made. So I'm testing it on the back to see how I like the color. And it wasn't dark enough for me. So I went ahead and added another, tested it again, added some more. And that's how we got to that ratio. So I hear you can do what you want. Like it's very, some people don't even measure. It's all perspective or, personal opinion, whatever. But this is the ratio that I used. Also, quick side note, if you saw the sample paint jar, I did get an eggshell finish or an eggshell base. That was not on purpose. That was just the best they had. They didn't have satin. I definitely didn't want to do a gloss. So I just picked an eggshell and I don't know that it matters. And I definitely am going over it with a top coat. So I picked a satin top coat. So I think that just makes up for it. But here I am applying the paint wash. honestly, I was very nervous, didn't know what I was doing. I didn't kind of ease up until I got to the last drawer. And then after I did the drawers, I moved on to the actual piece. So I just kind of wanted to use the drawers as practice to get my feet wet and then moved on to the main star of the show. But it all came together. I tried to let the paint sit for like a minute before I wiped it back, and I only ended up doing one one coat of this. So yeah, y'all, it's looking. I tried to show you also a side by side. You'll see that here in a couple of minutes. And to be honest, this process is very redundant. Like you're just gonna do this all throughout, and then we'll come back on the third step. So finally, I'm working on the top, and I was very pleased to see how freely the paint wash was moving. I know that you can use like a mister to wet your surface to help the paint move a little bit better, but I didn't have any issues there. I did pick up a spray bottle from the dollar store, but I think it's best if you have like a misting bottle. That's why I opted not to use it. I just didn't like the way the water was coming out. But then also, y'all, I kind of messed up my staging wall a little bit. Like I saw some little splatters. Not a big deal. I have the paint to touch it up, so I'll be doing that in the meantime. But yeah, I was super relieved to see it all come together. Here I'm just trying to show you guys like an overview of what it's looking like. And to be honest, it's reflecting different on camera than it is in person, but I'm very pleased. Okay, so here it is after it's dried overnight, and now I'm coming in with my polyurethane, water-based poly, satin finish, all the things. So I ordered these applicator sponges on Amazon. It comes in a 2-pack. I feel like these are very popular. I've seen them all over the place. I'm just late to the party, but I will say I was a little bit confused here. So I finally realized that you just had to kind of work it, add some water, squeeze it, and it'll just naturally plump up. And that's what I did. And so finally, I got into it. So these come in a 2-pack on Amazon. They're very inexpensive, and I'll do my best to link them down below. But going in with the poly, you're just going to dip it and wipe it. It's super simple. And I was a little nervous that I was going to overwork the product and see a lot of strokes, but I didn't really have any issues there. Didn't see any air bubbles or anything. But honestly, this was like the scariest part for me. Well, I can't say that. The paint wash was scary too. I'm just a nervous wreck, but it worked out and I'm very satisfied. Okay, for context here, the reason I get so nervous about poly top coats is because I used to really struggle with them, but that was back in the day when I was spraying them over my painted finishes, and it would always leave like strokes and like streakiness and that color fog on top. Now, of course, I've learned all the hacks and things, but I really haven't fooled with poly since then, and that's one of the main reasons why I like to paint furniture, and I like to use the all-in-one type paint, but that's just a little side note there. But anyway, this worked out really well. Like I said, I ended up doing a total of 3 coats altogether. So I did the first 2 without sanding in between, And then I did my sanding all over with a 400 grit sandpaper. And then I did that final coat. I learned that from Katie Scott. And the idea with that is that you don't want to remove any of the color. So that's why she says to do the two coats first. And then you should be safe to not remove anything when you sand over it. So that's what I did. And the last step is to add the hardware. So I'm super excited to do that. I don't want to show it on camera because I feel like that's going to give away the reveal. And I think that the hardware is like the last piece of jewelry that brings everything together. So the next time you see this piece, you'll be seeing the before and the after. And again, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your continued support. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to go catch my breath and tend to my baby girl who is probably about to just wake up from her nap. Thanks for watching. I love y'all, and I'll see you in my next one.